really cool new system they have in the control van. I'm sitting by this monitor that's, I can use a stylus. It's a telestrator, basically. So when John Madden is dissecting, or used to dissect plays during NFL games, you know, he could circle the defensive back and the quarterback and trace the arc of the ball. Well, I can kind of do that now, and the pilots and the navigators see it on their screens. So I can draw an arrow or circle things or whatever. So it's pretty cool. So you don't have to say that white thing. Wait, that white thing? No, the other white thing. You just point to it now digitally.
We weren't able to see you pointing. Is there a way to do that yet or not yet?
Yes, we have a way. Stand by.
Oh, sure. Yeah, we can do a little show and tell. That'd be kind of fun.
Hold on.
Go, Marley, go.
I think it's this one. Okay, do the telestrator magic.
All right, I'm going to do an arrow.
If you look at channel 3 on Nautilus Live, well, I guess there's going to be the delay, but...
Yeah.
Do like a big circle or a big arrow across the screen. Yeah.
Gosh, that's interesting.
Like, what's happening on the seafloor?
I know, right? Look at this coral.
See the circle.
Oh, you do? Great. So it's great. So you draw it, and you can do circles. You can draw pathways like this.
Yeah,
Whoa.
That's my favorite one.
That's a fun one. You can just
point. You're right, that's football.
Yeah, so, and then it just fades away. You don't have to clear it. It just kind of lasts for a couple seconds.
So I've been quiet because I've been trying to investigate the Xenophyophore monothalamia name change. So after I said that, George Matsumoto wrote in and said he found a paper from 2020 that calls them Xenophyophores still. So I've tried to look into it.
Oh.
From what I can gather, it sounds like Xenophyophores are a clade housed within the monothalamia, which is a polyphyletic group. And so these are just ways of talking about how animal groups are related to each other. And it basically means that they could very well be both monothalamians and xenophyophores, but not every xenophyophore is a monothalamian. And in the end, I'm not sure which one of those we should call them. I think still definitely in the deep sea community, we call them all xenophyophores, and probably I should adopt that since I don't know, too much about the taxonomy of these guys otherwise. But yeah, I'm actually very relieved. I would love to call them xenophyophores still. It just rolls off the tongue. But also the name is great. It's xeno means
alien.
Well, xenophyophore, it's like it's stealing things, sort of a thief of shell bits and sand, because it takes pieces of sand and shells from the sediments around and uses that to cement its test or its skeleton. And Erica says, the science chat, Xenophyophore is easier to say. Surprisingly, yes, though maybe tougher to spell. Ooh, that looks like a predatory tunicate to the right of that octopus down at the bottom of the screen.
All right, we can take a quick look at that. This guy? Yeah.
Yeah, roger that.
Oh.
All right, Marley, you want to do a quick zoom? Ooh, I like both of them. Can we just split the difference?
This is great.
Sorry,
can we turn the lasers off for a second? Just a second.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Just an anemone. It was hard to tell from there.
Oh. With the transparent? Those little transparent guys, are those?
Is it possible to zoom in onto this arm here?
Not sure.
Sure. Sorry.
The one I saw was actually on the other octopus. Or next
Marley,
oh, I'm so sorry, Amanda.
That's okay.
Sorry?
All right, we zoomed in on
I thought we were zooming on the octopus, or else I would have said something sooner. Sorry
yeah,
about
no
that.
worries. We'll just keep going. Yeah, one of the things about this dive is we can't, all right, that's good. Thanks,
All
guys.
right, good. And come wide, Marley. I gotta move.
We have a very compressed schedule ahead of the weather, so this originally was scheduled to be a 30-hour dive, but it's been compressed to 24, but more than likely it's going to be 20 or less if we can accomplish everything that we need to.
Gonna make the most of it.
Is it mostly one species of octopus here, or are there multiple?
Yeah, it's mostly the one, Musoctopus robustus.
Do you guys know what you call a group of octopuses?
Octopus.
It's a group of octopuses. It's called a consortium.
Oh my goodness, I love that.
Consortium of
So
octopus.
sophisticated.
We're definitely going to see a consortium at the top.
Inverted consortium.
Can you remind what's the distance between the laser dots?
10 centimeters, I believe.
Yep.
Okay.
Keeps on changing. It's heading to the south.
Roger.
Is anybody else counting the number of octopus? I've seen 14. I was
Really?
just curious if
It's your job now.
Holy cow. I think we did that the first time we were here. We were like, oh, look, there's an octopus. Wow, we've seen 2 so far. This is great. And we saw a Dumbo octopus, which was amazing. And then we came over this rock and there were tens and then hundreds.
Yep.
It's like, oh, a lot of octopus. Are those tube worms or is the sediments just differently textured there on the left?
How far over on the left? Are you talking about the coral over
Oh.
there?
It's also on the right too here, right, Amanda? The same thing you're talking
sorry.
about?
Other left. My gosh.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No worries. I'm sure we'll see it. We're clearly passing over a lot of it. It just, yeah, there's some interesting patches of sediment.
Yeah. This feels like we're tourists going to a city, but we can only go to like 1 or 2 sites. Wish we could stop
Like the
at
bus
every
tours
museum and yeah, exactly. Bus tours like Big Ben, Parliament.
Here we see Alternipathes again, that black coral that's really abundant. We got an update on the name. We had called it Bathypathes before, which was its former genus.
Bridge nav, you can add 30 meters, 350.
Yeah, Amanda, I mean, what's really interesting, Amanda, is the invertebrate zoology professor at Moss Landing Marine Labs, and that's where I'm a graduate from. And I was under the previous invertebrate zoology professor to Amanda, Dr. John Geller. And one of the things I want to ask you, Amanda, is how do you keep up on all of the taxonomic name changes? Because for me, you call something Bob for 20 years, and then now suddenly it's Jim. It's hard to get used to.
I have no good solution on that. I struggle always. But I will say, definitely when I have to teach, that helps a lot. Oh, hello, I should know your name. Who is this long single-stalked coral? That is tall coral. I'm going to find the name of that. Oh, that is Lepidisis. Thank you, Erica, on
Lepidisis.
the second
Yeah, that's the single-stalked one.
Mhm. Yeah, so I don't have a good trick except that once a name is changed, I try very hard not to remember its old name. I find that a lot of the time, I think because it helps others remember, they will say what the former name was and then the new name. And for me, that just makes it harder to accept the new name and move on with it. But also, how I find out is usually getting corrected by someone. Unless it's my field, and I keep up with it. And also, just because it's a wonderful small world, I also graduated from us lending our last year together. So, Chad and I didn't overlap with our time at MLML, but we definitely both were there.
Yeah, just to let you know, Amanda, because you can't tell, the last 30 seconds or so of your talk was choppy. So
Yeah, Amanda, could you try maybe adjusting your headset a little bit? You've been clear this whole time, but maybe you moved around a little.
Sure, yeah.
That's better.
oh, that's much better.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
as
huh.
Gary Williams had
Okay,
pointed out,
sorry.
because one of them is a different shape, the alternatipathes is kind of more that teardrop lighter pink shade, and then the Bathopathes is still that golden color. One. So you can go ahead and talk, man. Let's see if it cleared up. So, so I guess, let's see. I can't tell. Yeah, so that's alternatipathes there, I believe. That is the lighter pinker teardrop shape black coral.
Oh, I see. Now, okay, I can see the difference now. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I thought they were both the same. And thanks to Gary Williams, too, for pointing that out in the science chat.
Yeah, so we have, so I'm in the van, Amanda's on shore, and we have 3 shifts that rotate 24 hours a day if we're in the water in those hours. And we usually have 2 scientists on each shift, but we also have a nice large group of scientists that will rotate in and out of the science chat room. And it's all just text-based, but they're watching along at home. And we have various experts that in various fields that are just so wonderful that they can take the time to contribute their expertise and knowledge if they see certain things or identify things or correct us on things or request a sample. It's a really cool way to involve. Oh, here we go.
Yes.
Got a parachuting octopus.
I'm just going to sneak real quick.
Go for it. But it's a great
Yes.
way to involve a lot of people.
Like a ghost.
Landing.
All right, so if you zoom in on that third arm, it's kind of curled up there. That's the modified arm.
Yeah.
So there you go. That's
Is it modified for mating or?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that has their sperm packets in there basically.
Oh, interesting.
So
Definitely oriented towards us.
they get a little handsy, but but that is a male.
Yeah, that's called the hectocotylus.
Yes.
So it's a specialized structure at the end of that third arm, and the sperm from the male travels down a special channel on that arm, and then the sperm packet will sit in that hectocotylus, and then when they mate, the male will deposit the sperm packet into the mantle or under the mantle of the female. So they use their hectocotylus to kind of navigate in.
Seems like a very
Yeah, I was going to
surgical
point that
way.
out, Erica. See, Erica's one of our scientists in the chat room. There's a dead black coral behind it, but since the tissue is gone, you can see why they're called black corals. The skeleton is black.
I like how it chose to land right in front of us. Very brave.
The paratrooper, you know?
Yeah. Stay away from my babies.
That's another lepidisis. Well, I think the number of octopus we've seen already is a pretty good sign that there will probably still be brooding octopuses at the top of the octocone.
Seems definitely octopus rich already.
It is. Ooh, some sponges there too. Another Colophacus, I think, judging by the white stalk. That's a big Lepidisis skeleton there, that
Yes,
big
it
white
is.
line.
It's one of the bigger skeletons I've seen of Lepidisis.
Oh, we have both Alternipathes and Bathypathes in view now, right? Am I getting this right on the IDs? Got the pink teardrop shaped one on the left, Alternipathes, and then the more gold colored Bathypathes. Now more centered in view.
Hey, Jess, can we get I think the power cycle or something with the optode wand? I think it's been flatlined for a while.
Sure thing.
Thank you. Thanks, Jen, for pointing that out.
Okay, go ahead and try that. Now I can hold the power off cycle a little bit, a little longer if that didn't work.
It looks like it worked.
Roger that.
Thank you.
Sure thing.
So we've come up about 130 meters in elevation from the base of this cone, or where we landed on the dive. So we're not quite halfway up, but we're getting there.
Looks like there's a whole cluster of stars over there.
Oh yeah. I think they'd be able to distribute better.
Yeah. That is true. That's a good point.
Only octopus enter here.
Uh-oh, sponge alert, Amanda.
Sponge alert? Where's the sponge?
Well, it's really, well,
I've
maybe
got lag.
Marley, gonna do a quick zoom?
Saturated.
yeah, you'll see it in a little bit. It's really whitewashed, but it'll be turned down in a bit.
Ah, okay.
Is that a sedimented one on the right of it?
It's like a dying one or something. All right, Marley, you want to come wide, please? Thank you.
Amanda, if you're still in SPL, have you seen the sponge yet?
I had to refresh my
Oh,
browser.
Oh, this one's way
Um,
better.
even better, Sponge.
Yeah, yeah, here's my
Oh.
one. I think, yeah, your video feed had
Oh.
lagged behind. It happened to me on shore too. I would just close out.
Oh,
Are you gonna do
okay.
a snap zoom there for Amanda?
Yeah, that'd be great. I had to
Love
kill
it.
the interspace feed
Mm-hmm.
and then
Oh,
reopen the
interesting.
browser and
That is so
relaunch
cool.
camera one. And then it would sync back up.
That's great. Thanks, Marley.
I have no idea who that sponge is. That's beautiful. I think that looks similar to one we may have collected 2 years ago. Interesting.
Coming up.
All right, according to my count, this is octopus number 20.
Oh my goodness.
Keep
And
it up,
thanks, Chad. I'll
Marley.
keep that in mind because it was getting very laggy.
Kim, you want to come up a bit on the winch, please?
It's just one of those moments where if you had told me when I was in college that one day I would have a job where I was on a ship in the middle of the ocean counting octopus.
Better believe it.
21.
You would have asked yourself how lucky you were to get that, right?
Absolutely.
Oh, cool.
Well, you're going to be off shift by the time we hit the mother load.
I know. I'm probably
Way to
just
bring it
gonna
I'm just
stay
not
and hang
sleeping
out.
tonight.
Way to bring us down.
Well, we've barely seen, we saw like basically a pizza slice of the top of this cone because we found this nursery in the last hour of a 30-hour dive.
Right.
Just like in 2018, we found the original garden in the last hour of a 30-hour dive. So apparently that's when we make our discoveries, is in the last hour of all dives. So that's good news for today. But yeah, so the garden, we have well over 1,000
Wow.
octopus there. So at this cone, we definitely saw hundreds in that pizza slice last year in less than an hour. So just back of the napkin, probably there's, well over 600-700, if not more than 1,000 on this cone. But
It's almost threatening to know how consolidated their reproductive efforts are, like such sensitive areas. All species relies on this, these spots. It's a good thing it's protected.
yes, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's been protected since 2008. And the big worry was not in 2008 because it wasn't economically viable to come down here and either gather corals or extract minerals or manganese nodules or any of those kinds of things for industry or other commercial applications. But technology keeps advancing, and we all know about a lot of deep sea mining that's happening around the world in certain areas. It is getting to the point where companies can make money off of it because the technology is rapidly advancing. So this area was set aside before there was any competing interest from commercial ventures, much like, a lot of forests like, Yellowstone and Yosemite, and those were set aside. So they couldn't be logged and that kind of thing.
What is the depth at the top of the octocone? Like how is our progress right now?
We are currently at 3221 meters, and the summit is about 3115 or so. So we're still 100 meters deeper than the summit right now.
We're going to kind of go up this to the east of it and
Oh, right.
meander back over it.
So I had designed the dive plan to we're not going straight to the summit. We're we're going at an angle. Instead of perpendicular to the slope, we're going at maybe a 35 to 40 degree angle. And we're going to come up on the kind of the east and northeast side of this cone, not quite to the summit. And the idea is once we find that tree line, if it exists all around the cone, but it did on one side, if there's a virtual tree line of octopus around the tip of the cone, we'll hit that line and then start to survey around the cone and then circle our way to the top.
Okay. I can't quite hear you, but roger that. So Chad, when we get to H, we're just clear to keep going past it, or do you want us to wait around there for a little bit?
No, there's no need to wait at H. That was more of just a guide. And what we can do when we hit H is take a little bit of a left turn and go up the slope perpendicularly.
Roger.
And then I just wanted to cover more ground by taking this angle, see a little bit more of the slope. But once we get up near the summit, we can take a perpendicular angle up to the northwest. Yeah, exactly like that.
So just ignore I.
Yeah, for now.
Okay.
I'm just trying to trim a little time off this dive wherever I can.
No, I think that's smart.
Just so we're ahead.
Chad, what time do you want the dive to end tomorrow?
Never.
Never.
I know, right? I mean, if the weather was good all week, we'd be here for a day and a half. But we have it planned to be on deck by 4 p.m. local time tomorrow. But more than likely, I hope anyway, we'll actually end up a little earlier than that. Just to ensure that we can dive at the Octopus Garden to collect the equipment. We don't want to push that, because if that dive gets scrapped, it's going to cause some problems. Because we don't know if and when we can dive the rest of the week if the weather is as bad as it's forecast to be.
Roger.
In other news, this is octopus number 30.
Oh.
Yes,
Ooh,
Marley.
I'm having so much fun, you guys.
Thank
Don't
you
stop.
for your count. Yeah.
You're going to save an undergraduate a lot of work. No.
Well, I'm sure there's somebody in the science chat or somebody on shore who's also keeping count, and I'm probably off, but
Cephalopod expert Michael Vecchione, who's on the science chat, recommended that you count all the arms and then divide by 8.
Clever guy.
Yeah.
All right, Marley, you're going to have to start over. Ooh, polykate.
This feature. Thanks, Kim.
So definitely the textures changed. These look small, but maybe still shaped, some of them like pillow basalts. You know, that one to the left a bit.
Yeah, just going off just memory from last year, that real pillowy lava was a little bit lower than this on the western side of this cone. We're more on the eastern, kind of southeastern side of this cone. So we'll see. We still may see that pillowy lava as we come up to the top, but it could be that there was one side of the cone that had more of that pillow lava extrusions than other sides.
Right, makes a lot of sense. And actually, I remember looking at this on the map, and it is very cone shaped. It's called the octocone because this thing is like a point sticking up from the seafloor. So who knows what was involved in forming it, or how much lava heat seeped out of it as it was forming. These are very cute sponges. I don't know who these stalked sponges are.
Oh, okay. Can we get a quick zoom on that stalked sponge in the lower part?
Yeah, sure.
We can do drive-bys like this, Amanda, so don't hesitate to call anything out like that. We just can't linger, you know, like many minutes at too many targets.
Oh, interesting.
Oh, I didn't expect that. Oh, okay. Let me look. I think this one might actually be in the guide.
It's pretty.
It is pretty.
That crinoid underneath just adds a little, like flower, like leaves under the flower or something.
Yeah. Little flare.
Oh,
It's
this
like a
might.
strawberry.
A strawberry. It does look like a pale strawberry.
Oh, sorry guys, I'm gonna have to pick up and go.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. I
I'm
think
gonna
it's
put
Colosacus, actually.
I'm gonna put in 320.
320.
All right, so we've hit our first target, which is a little bit more than halfway up the cone. And we're going to take a little bit of a left turn and go more vertically, directly up.
I'll travel for another like 20 meters until I start to feel that swing that way, then I'll turn my heading. Oh, no, you're fine.
Hello, Grenadier. There's another Grenadier hanging out by the rocks. Some octopuses. Another great big sponge.
That makes sense, yeah. That's a good point. Yeah, that's a good point. Have a nicer view of the surroundings.
What's the minimum delta you like here? Like,
Sorry?
what's the minimum delta you feel comfortable with around? Just out of curiosity.
Sometimes we fly as low as like 12 to 15.
Right.
Depends on the landscape, seascape.
Or escape.
It does make for some nice visuals right here. Oh, that's good. You can stay on 320 since USBL is being pretty unreliable right now. I'm just going to be here until I feel the swing start to take us that way.
Can we get just a quick zoom on that?
Sure.
And then some of these zooms only have to be a few seconds.
Flyby zoom.
That's nice.
Oh, huh. I recognize that. Who's that? That's in one of the field guides. Ah, Porifera species 4.
Wow, what a
I
sexy
believe.
name.
Now that one should have really neat looking ruffles on the outside of it. I don't know if we'll
Is
see
that like
that
Mambo
really
number
quite
5?
Porifera number 4, sir. Actually, we're also passing by Porifera species 9. It's that sort of purpley tinge on the rocks that you see, but that's not a very exciting name either. And those are names, some of those are in the Sir Ridge and the Davidson Seamount taxonomic guides. And then Porifera species 9 is the official, unofficial name that we call it at Mbari when we see it, because we don't know who it is yet. Sponges are really difficult to recognize just from video because their shape and their size can really be affected by the water currents around them. So it's really hard to recognize what's a defining characteristic of the sponge and what's just a factor of the water conditions that it's growing in.
Hey, Marley.
Yeah.
It seems like the aft cam, or the stern cam on the ship, the one that looks at the wire going over the transom, is went out. The cam on the aft of the ship. One where you can see like where the wire is touching. Yeah, sorry.
And an alternate path. Sorry, I lost my connection there. So 2 black corals that we passed.
Ooh, another one.
Another
octopus.
paratrooper.
Oh,
Hey,
it's
Marley. I don't know if you can catch that.
Landing.
Landing
Oosh.
zone.
Oh. What arm is it?
All right, come wide, please.
Very cool.
So cool. It all seems like very defensive movements and behavior, probably. I can't imagine they're locomoting like that all the time. Anthropomorphizing them.
A little bit behind.
We can turn the lasers back on too. If they're, I think they're off. Yeah, there they are.
Yeah,
Thank you. Pew pew.
That's a nice button.
Yeah, sure. That's a cool shot in Argus there. Kim.
Definitely getting a little more ghosts here.
Indeed.
I remember that yellow sponge. I still have that yellow sponge to identify. Yeah, we collect it. It's very, very soft, very floppy. So we had a really hard time getting it.
Is that
It was
one of them
not a
that,
quick
that
and
we
easy
smelled?
identification. We smell all, but yeah, I think that one did have a little bit of a scent. I'd have to look in my notebook to see what it smelled like.
Do sponges have particular smells associated with the species or something?
Yeah, some do. Although I will say it's not anything that's really written in the publications. It's just something that I've started to note. And there are a couple species where it's known, like one of the shallow species, the breadcrumb sponge. That one has almost a sulfurous smell to it.
Oh.
But that spurred me to start smelling other sponges, and some smell quite strongly like things that you wouldn't expect from the ocean. Like the nicest one smelled like freshly cut grass.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
So, I mean, when it's so hard to tell, a lot of the time to identify a sponge, you need to take it and then look at the skeletal elements under the microscope and really look at fine details. So if there's a sniff test that can help with identification, I'm all for it. So we're trying to just document the smells as we get them.
Cool.
Oh, there's a dirty sponge. It's like hidden. It's just going off screen, but they're super shaggy and brown. I wish I'd seen it earlier. It was
oh yeah, that one with all the spicules with debris and everything hanging off of it.
Yeah. Henry Ricewood called that the spicule jungle, all the community that lives on the spicules that stick out on the surface of a sponge.
Yeah, a world within a world.
Yeah. The furrows in the rock look familiar, kind of like some of the crevices that octopuses would hide in at the octo spa region. Remember those little sort of erosions in the rock?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they'd hide in those
like
little holes and depressions.
Mm-hmm.
Hey Ben, are these 5 or 10 meter contours?
I think these are 10. Let's double check.
Oh, look, there's a small octopus or squid in the right outside of the screen. Could that be a juvenile?
Oh, I missed it. I was looking
just off screen now.
I was looking at high pack. That is a hatchling. Can we get a zoom on that?
Cool.
Let's get a zoom on that.
Oh, wow.
Come here.
It looks way more playful than the adults. Play, little baby.
Yep.
Wow. Oh, so cool. Did you see hatchlings last time?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So that's...
So they're just brooding constant, or...
Yeah, we think it's just a revolving door.
Yeah, all the life stages.
There it is again, or a second one. I don't know which one. Maybe it's the same one. The first time we were here, we found embryos that were developing because we could see eye spots and stuff, but we still weren't sure. And then the BBC got interested in doing a Blue Planet Live episode in March of 2019. And so they invited me out on the Atlantis, and we did 2 dives at the octopus garden. And it was that dive that we confirmed the warm water, and we saw the first hatchlings.
Wow.
And we got them all on video. And then last year with the Nautilus, we saw dozens hatch, like right out of the 8 case.
So there are like a cohort of specific.
We need to zoom in right there. Do you see those octopus? Here we go.
I'm done counting.
All right, so these are the octopus in their brooding position, right at near shift change.
Everted.
Perfect
So,
timing. Hello.
Great timing. Jennifer and Jan are really happy. So if it's possible to stop here, this is an area we would love to zoom in, zoom out, and then use the optoad as well, if it's possible to get those cracks and crevices.
Yeah, sorry, Chad.
And
so sorry, guys. We're experiencing a swing right now in Argus, so we're going to let Argus kind of swing.
No worries.
We'll come back down there, maybe we'll drop a target.
Yeah, if you could drop a target there, because they're going to be everywhere, but we would love to come back to where it starts.
Great. Yeah.
Thanks.
2 observations. One is that spot we were just at had a pile of sea stars. Maybe they were eating an abandoned patch of eggs.
Yeah.
Might be worth taking a look at.
Absolutely.
And the other thing is just, it looks like we see a lot of clean rocks here. That might be a good spot to look for the seeps.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, anywhere where it's darker and black.
Looks like there's a lot of these.
Marley, are you keeping up?
So, Chad, I think also where we first saw that grouping, there might have been a dead octopus, so we can go back and look at that too.
Yeah, they dropped the target, so we should be able to go back to that area.
Yeah, it's about 13 meters behind us.
Great.
So we're swinging right now. We'll come back, and then we're going to be doing a shift change in the van and on shore too. And then we'll be kind of resuming. And the first...
You can also back the ship up, but we'll let that for the other, for the next watch.
And
All
then
right,
the first
guys.
of... Oh, thank you.
I'm going to hand over. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Jess.
Well, I'm hopping off of the spoken science party line, but I will still be tuned in because holy cow, this is exciting.
Well,
This is neat.
you can hold on to that
Cool.
thought, Amanda. I know that we have Jan and Jen coming on.
Yep.
It can take up to 3. So if you wanted to stay aboard, you can. Obviously, if there's problems with V-Link after that, we'll talk about it. But because we've been having Amity and Justin come on at various times that they've kind of signed up for in a timesheet sort of thing to be the 3rd person.
Oh, cool.
So that's up
well,
to you.
I can come in there too. Yeah. Ooh. Okay. Well, I'm gonna hop off and eat a quick dinner.
Of course.
While I'm off, but yes, then I'll message and see if I can hop back in.
Great.
Oh wow! Oh man, look at all the sponges here, guys.
See, it'll be your post-dinner
Wait.
sponge fest, okay?
Now I can get away. Yeah.
we know she's coming back now.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, guys, my grad student Sydney is watching right now with her roommates. Oh, so cool. Hi, Sydney. Check out the deep sea life. Sydney's hoping to study a deep sea community for her thesis.
So, Chad, from the looks of things at the surface, you guys are in pretty flat water out there right now, huh?
It's exceptionally flat right now. It's you can barely feel a ship move. It's great. The calm before the storm. So everyone watching from home, we are doing a shift change in the van. And once they get settled in, we are going to return to a target that we discovered right before the shift change, where the octopus began, because it's really important to start at that periphery and start to go around the cone, as opposed to straight up. So we'll see if that will be done.
I'm still moving along, so you're gonna have to. Yeah.
Chad, can you hear me?
Oh, I think that crinoid is
Yes,
back.
I can.
This is Jen.
I can hear you, Jen.
Okay.
Yeah, 304 or something.
Can anybody hear me?
I can hear you. Hi, Jen.
I can hear you. Jen can hear you.
Oh.
This is Alan.
Oh,
Nautilus.
okay.
I hear you too.
Now, okay. I couldn't hear you, but yeah, no. Now I do.
Whoever said.
There's an echo somewhere.
Yes, we're hearing an echo, and someone's grossly overmodulated. Too close to the microphone. And in minutes.
How about this one? Is this one overmodulating?
Nope, that one's actually a little low.
Yeah.
Okay,
That
that's
sounded
Jan.
good to me.
Not Jan Rolano, not Jennifer Brown.
Okay,
Jan.
this is Jennifer.
Yeah, Al, you want to zoom in?
Hi, Jennifer. Yeah, you're a little bit loud.
A little bit loud. Okay, I'll move my mic further away.
Here we go.
Is this better?
That's perfect. That's great.
Okay, great.
Do you want to go in farther, Bob, or is this good?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just.
Oh, just having fun?
Yep, just sitting down and doing some stuff.
If you're doing that, can you zoom in on the small benthic ctenophore? It's over to the right side of the screen. Kind of waving like a little flag. It's got two white dots with a dark purpley pink core to it. Yeah.
Like really
That
tiny
way.
right there? Zoom
Yeah.
in, Al.
Wow.
Cool. Benthic ctenophore.
Super cool.
That's great. So those guys are ctenophores like we saw swimming in the water, but this particular group lives at the seafloor and just waves its tentacles with tentilla around to capture particles from the water. Oh, and there's an acorn worm behind it. It's clear in color, but you can see it on that rock that's sort of back and 2 o'clock from the ctenophore.
So
Sure
I gotta move ahead,
Yep.
but we
Yeah.
can get
Oh, yeah.
closer here.
Sorry, you just
And-
said you were.
Okay,
looking
zoom out,
around,
Al.
so-
Science. Where would we like to go? It sounds like we're trying to move towards this J waypoint.
No, so Ben dropped a marker.
Okay.
We had just, so the idea is, imagine this cone, right? We're near the summit.
Octocone, yes.
The octopus are just near the summit.
Copy
So if you
that.
think of the octopus as having a tree line,
Okay.
and now this is the second side we've come up and there was a tree line and they're only near the top. Once we hit that tree line was right before the shift change, but he marked it, he dropped a marker, but we kept swinging. So
Okay.
we jammed past it. So we're, I don't know how many meters past it. We must be more than 30, 40, 50. So whatever marker he dropped, we need to drive back
You wanna
there.
zoom in on that, Al?
Roger. That's the
no.
brooding octopus target, I'm assuming, on HIPAC?
Yeah, I don't know what he
Okay.
labeled it.
I'm getting situated.
Oh, I see
Bob,
it. Yeah,
so I'm
yeah.
at the left.
I guess that's what he called it.
Yeah, it's 49.
Okay, well you can zoom out. 'cause
Yeah,
I
it's
gotta,
50 meters.
I gotta move ahead.
Ooh.
We're still moving. So.
Yeah. So whenever, because once we get back there, the idea is to circle around that tree line, around the cone, and then we'll spiral up to the top because we
Okay.
want to be able to capture most of the area